Hey y'all, it's Zoe here, your nutrition peer, back here at Nutrition Prep Notes with another prep note for you. And in today's prep note, we're going to be talking about how to prep for the CNS exam in the month of August. Stay tuned. Okay, y'all, so in the month of August, now is the time for you to go ahead and apply to the CNS exam. I have an entire prep note episode dedicated to helping you prepare the CNS exam application. Take a listen to that video so you can get all of my tips and strategies on how to complete that application in a way that is easy and streamlined and stress-free. In that video, I share with you about the different components of the application. I talk with you through that process. I tell you how that process was for me, and I give you some tips on how to pick a good recommender, as well as insights on how to prep your resume for the exam application. So definitely take a listen to that video. The second thing I want to tell you this month to help you prepare for the CNS exam is now's the time to go ahead and lock and load your resources. And so what do I mean by this? Now's the time for you to go ahead and organize yourself and make sure you sequester and gather the resources you need in order to prepare for the exam. Now, the way that you can do this effectively is by making sure to grab a copy. Number one, make sure that you review the BCNS Certifications Handbook. So read your handbook from cover to cover. I talk about this handbook all the time, y'all. And of course, I'll leave an updated copy to the handbook in the description below. But make sure that you read this handbook from cover to cover so that you know what the expectations are as it relates to CNS certification in general, and then get additional insights for the exam as well. So I've talked about this in other videos in more detail on a step-by-step approach to helping to get your mind right for the exam. And so I will link those prep note videos below. What I really want to stress the importance of, however, is in the month of August, go ahead and apply to the CNS exam. And then number two, gather your resources. And so the easiest way to figure out what resources you need in order to study for the exam is by getting yourself a copy of the CNS exam content outline. Many of you will be taking this exam. If you're seeing this video now, you'll be taking the same exam that I took, and it's using the 2024 to 2028 content outline. So make sure that you grab an updated copy of that content outline. You can find the updated copy of the content outline at the back of the BCNS Certifications Handbook, as well as on the ana.org website. So make sure you grab a copy of that, y'all. And then you can simply begin reading through some of the subtopics on the exam content outline and start thinking about what resources you have that would be good to review this material. Now, the resource that I'm just going to give you offhand, number one, that you definitely should have is a really great Nutrition Foundations textbook of some sort. And the reason I recommend this is because in that textbook, it contains many of the evergreen nutrition topics you really need to make sure you have a handle on in order to prepare effectively for the exam. So for example, content that will help you to review subtopic number 3 on the exam content outline, like digestion, absorption, and transport of macronutrients and micronutrients. So that information is pretty standard, and so you really just need a good textbook-based review on this topic. Of course, you can use Google, but a great Foundations Nutrition textbook is a great resource for that, just making sure to frame it in the way that you would need to know it as a nutrition professional. And so additional topics you can look at as it relates to your Nutrition Foundations text would be nutritional considerations for the different life cycle stages, as well as reviewing, things like electrolyte and acid-base balance, just the basic foundations of nutrition that we really need to know as nutrition professionals. The textbook is also good for reviewing micronutrients and microminerals and things of that sort as well. And so don't negate that Foundations Nutrition textbook. I highly recommend that you have one of those as your resources to begin studying for the exam. And if you want the complete list of resources that I personally used in order to study for the exam, and I share these with you where you can find them low cost or free in my personal exam study blueprint called Strategies for Success Pro. I highly recommend that you invest in this personal blueprint. You will definitely reap the benefits of learning from my experience, and it's just such a rich blueprint to help you to approach the test in a more streamlined and efficient manner so you're not wasting time on things you don't need to know. I go through all of the resources that I used, and I tell you how to use these resources in order to prepare for the exam. When it comes to exam prep, more is not better, less is actually better. And if you know how to use basic foundational review information in textbooks and resources, you really can maximize your overall experience with preparing for the exam in a way that's not going to make you feel overwhelmed. And so that's really where my personal blueprint shines. So I highly recommend that you take a look at my personal blueprint and get an outline of the resources I used, where I found practice questions. I share these with you where you can find these low cost or free. So I highly recommend my personal blueprint for strategies on how to approach the CNS exam. You can find detailed step-by-step instructions on what to review first, where to find good information to review the different subtopics. So I highly recommend y'all check that out. And I'll leave a link to my personal blueprint, Strategies for Success Pro, in the description below. The final thing I want to share with you all is to make sure that as you're gathering resources to study for the exam, consider your personal learning style and how you learn best. Okay, so think about whether or not you're really visual, whether or not you really like listening to information, whether or not you're more of the knowledge to doing type of learner, you really like putting things in action. And now's a good time to start thinking about ways you can incorporate your review material into your everyday practice, especially if you are already a practicing nutrition professional, or maybe you have just gotten out of, grad school and you're doing practice sessions with clients. Just in whatever you're doing, like in your day-to-day, try to think of unique ways to incorporate maybe some of your exam review and prep into that as well. So that is essentially what I have to share with you for the month of August. I hope that this prep note helped. Let me know what additional information and additional insights you all would like to know as it relates to CNS exam prep. And I'll catch y'all back here next time with the next prep note. I want to encourage you to go forth in this exam. Don't let anything hold you back. If you have any questions and you'd like to connect more, definitely leave me a comment below. Join the email list so you can get exclusive CNS exam prep content. And I highly recommend that you subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get regular CNS exam prep videos. Thanks y'all so much for watching, and remember, it's time to prep like you mean it. Stay tuned for the checklist at the end of this video, and y'all take care, and I'll see you back here next time.